Welcome to day 7. This module is on habits and systems. It will be one of the most important modules you'll do throughout this 14 days, because your life is just an accumulation of many habits that you do over and over. There's a repetition to them, there's a cue or a trigger to do them, and then there's a reward at the end. So it's this kind of loop, a habit loop that you've created. And once you start being aware of your habit loops and why you do things, then you'll get control over them. Because no matter how much willpower you have or how much determination that you have, you will, if you don't change the habit loops, you'll just fall back into them without even recognizing you are. It's this pull, you keep getting pulled unless you break up your habit loop. Now, a lot of this information that you're going to read about comes from Atomic Habits. That's from James Clear, and he's a best-selling author and seems to be the go-to guy for how to change habits and redefine your life. And he talks about habits are different than goals, because you might have a goal, but it's the system that you implement that gets you to that goal. Because you might go, well, oh yes, I want to, lose 10 kilos. That's my goal. But if you don't have the right system to get there, you don't achieve your goal. So this is what this module is about. And it's about implementing systems that make you aware and awake and get you to change triggers and cues. Because if you, for instance, you might look back and think, when you were away from your home or when you were in a different environment, you either ate better or you did things differently. You didn't fall back into old habits. That's because your home environment has got cues and triggers that pull you back into an old way of living. So changing your environment will include changing your identity. Because if you keep seeing yourself a certain way, you see yourself as overweight or a person that eats poorly, then that is what you will do. You will have habits that support that. So you need to change your identity. And this will be part of this module, that you are a person that chooses healthy foods. You need to change your self-identity and start looking at yourself differently, and stop living in the past of what people have said you are or what people have done to you or what it has caused you to believe. That needs to be left in the past. Now, that might be easier said than done if you haven't done any healing and you haven't done any self-development. Well, part of changing your identity will include healing yourself of old wounds and completing your energy field. There is a healing at the end of this module to assist you with that, and other aspects throughout these 14 days that are going to assist you heal yourself and change your identity. So it's just important that you are aware that you have a self-identity. What you say to yourself, how you treat yourself. I can pretty much tell you who you are by how you relate to other people. That will tell me who you are. For instance, people that don't have boundaries, that sacrifice and overgive, will treat you the same. Or I have people that they will do all that, and then they will come to me and expect me to be the same as them, overgive, just be at their beck and call. It all shows up. We reveal who we are. So when you're awake of who you are, you can change who you are. So there's an example in the PDF of a person who lost a lot of weight, and basically this person just lost the weight by saying, what would a healthy person do? So when she would go to eat, the question in her mind would be, so what would a healthy person do? Well, they would choose the salad. They would eat good food and healthy food. They would exercise. Every moment she would say, what would a healthy person do? Or what would a slim person do? And when that question is asked, then the answer will be something that's positive. So being aware of your self-talk is another important area to take a look at. So we're going to get you deciding the type of person you want to be. So James Clear talks about eliminating the cue to do things so that you don't fall into the bad habits. And something else he does is called habit stacking, which means when you have a habit, add something onto that to continue the habit, to cue you to go do a good habit. So removing the cues, he says, then starts to eliminate the habit. For instance, you might eat a lot of food when you watch TV. So the cue is to watch TV, then I eat. So eliminating watching TV is going to assist you and make it hard for you to watch TV. How easy is it for you to watch TV? So when you remove the remote or get someone to hide it or take the batteries out or unplug the TV, then you make it hard, and two, it changes the whole habit of just sitting down. The harder it is to do something, the less you'll create the habits and replace it. So you might say, you watch TV. Well, watch something else on your computer that's uplifting and that's more motivating. You need to be replacing your old cues with something positive, and you're going to eliminate the bad ones, make it hard. That's why it's really important to start your habits positive in the morning, because you can diminish your positive habits throughout the day and this will become a lifestyle, because you're looking at somebody that was full of negative habits, like bad food, bad thoughts, bad body, bad energy, pain, suffering, tired. That was me. I was really worn out, and so I had a lot of bad habits. I would try a good habit, and I would smoked as well, and then I'd try and give up, but then I'd just fall back into my old way. So that was my past. That my past will never be my future. My past will never catch up to me. I have a habit of improving myself a little bit every day, and I don't want to feel, when it's hurt enough, you go, well, I'm never going to feel like that. So that pain is going to be a gift. If you've been in a lot of pain, you make it your gift, because it can be often the pain that stops you from going back to your old ways and changing the old neural pathways of saying, I should be in pain, or wait for it, it's all going to fall apart again. That sort of habit will take you off your system. So a habit stacking will be where you add another habit onto a current habit. So let's look at this habit. So a habit stacking idea will be, maybe you've got a family member or a friend that you call every day. Say you call them at 4:00. You can say, right, from now on, I have this habit of calling them. I'm going to speak to them less time, and I'm going to tell them that I need to finish the call sooner, because your scheduled walk is at, say, 4:00, and you've told them, and you've set the time limit to speak to them. So when you hang up, they might go, oh, I'll have a nice walk. They will remind you. And so you've now got two habits, one calling a person, and then as soon as you hang up, you're going to go for your walk. And then they will ask you the next day. So it's kind of like, keeping you accountable for what you've agreed to, and the fact that you shorten the conversation with them. So you start creating a second habit already on top of one habit, and you're going to make your bad habits very hard to do. So you're going to have to look at all your bad habits to change them, and then you're going to stack good habits. The research has shown that if you are punished for making wrong decisions or having bad habits, you're less likely to do them. And if you're rewarded for creating a good habit, you're more likely to repeat them. So if you if you lose weight and you have people commenting and say, wow, you look fabulous, that will give you momentum and motivation to keep losing weight. And when you're punished, for instance, some people set things up to say, well, I'm going to make an agreement to do X, Y, and Z, and if I don't do it, then I'll pay you money. And so losing money is painful. So in the back of their head, they're saying, if I don't do this, then I'm going to lose $10, $20, $30, whatever it is. So when there's a punishment that's set up, you're less likely to do the bad habit or lose out. So that is a good way to look at things that you do, because as Dr. Phil says, we get a payoff for why we do things, and recognizing what our payoff is so that we can change it and take control of what our payoffs are. So, I would highly suggest, even if you start dressing better, getting a positive attitude and, just changing who you are, because you identify yourself as a healthy person, people will start commenting, and that will give you more motivation to say, see, this works, because you're looking for as much energy to keep you on this positive way forward of changing your life. James Clear will say, you never miss doing a habit more than once. So if you miss it once, the cardinal rule is you have to do the habit the following day, so that you don't create that downward spiral where you go, oh, I've missed 2 days, or now I've missed 3 days. If you miss one day, then there is no ifs or buts. You are going to get back on that horse and do it the next day. That is the priority for that day. And when we get to the exercise module, you'll have some options, so that if you can't go outside and go for a walk, you'll have some other options. But that is going to be your cardinal rule. If you're going to create a daily habit of exercise, then you're not allowed to miss it more than once. That is the cardinal rule. And you're going to decide what all your cardinal rules will be and how you are going to, implement all the new habits. But again, you're going to ease them in. So you watch the shift, and you removing all your cues and all your payoffs, the negative payoffs or the bad payoffs that you've had. Okay, so I'm going to go through the steps of creating a good habit. Now there's 4 steps to it. And the first thing will be make it obvious. So it's like you don't forget to do it. So you put your runners on the table if you wear them to go for a walk. So it's obvious that they're sitting on the table and they have to be taken off the table. So it has to be, so you make it obvious. The next one will be make it attractive. So that's what I do when I go for my run. I make it fun. I like to play with, say hi to the dogs. I'll be talking to the trees. I have certain trees I touch. I do my gratitude. I make it this really beautiful experience, so that I go, oh, I've got to go because I miss my walk or my run in the park. And I make it like a spiritual uplifting thing. That's that me time. So I make it fun. The next thing will make it easy. So, it's not hard for me. I go downstairs and then I run out, and there I go. If you've got to drive so far to go to do your exercise, or it's really inconvenient, if it's difficult because of all these factors, you're not going to do it. So whatever you're going to pick to do, and whether it's create your meal or anything, it needs to be easy to do. That's why exercise in your own home is easy to do. But if you create the positive habit of doing that. So the next one will be easy. And the last one will be make it satisfying. So, okay, you might go, well, when I stick to a full week of exercise, I will give myself $50. I'm going to have a little fund where I am going to put $50 in, and when I get to a certain amount, I'm going to do whatever you want to do with it. You know, you got to create your reward, and it will, and because you need to be, and I like the ticks. You know, people like to see your ticks. I can tick that off. I can tick that off. I've done that. That's why we do have some monitoring throughout this 14 days, because people feel good and satisfied when they can tick things off. You go, I've done that. I feel good, and I'm getting a reward. I'm getting a payoff for the effort I'm putting in. So just to recap your bad habits, there's 4 aspects to shifting your bad habits. One is make it invisible. So, okay, remember I talked about the TV, hide the remotes, pull them out of the sockets, take the batteries out of your remotes, whatever you got to do, make it, or take the TV off the stand. Whatever it is that triggers you to get into bad habits, you make it really hard to go back into that bad habit, and make it unattractive. So that's why make it that it's not good to do. It's not fun. That's why I've got that picture for you to look at. Make it unattractive if you're going to choose to eat junk food, and make it more attractive and look at a pretty picture. So you start getting this association, no, I want to be rewarded. I don't want that negativity. So you make it unattractive to do, make it difficult. Well, I sort of covered that. You make it difficult to go into your old bad habits. So, that's why you take out your junk food out of your cupboard. So it's not easy for you to go and pull something out. You get rid of it all. You make, and if you're used to ordering with your credit card and ordering food, you hide your credit cards, or you make a plan that you can't do that you're not allowed to get someone to lock the cards away or something. Whatever your habits are, you're going to start creating and implementing slowly over time, because it won't be just these 14 days. You're going to keep looking at your habits and removing them. Unsatisfying. Yeah, well, the unsatisfying is getting an accountability partner, and you can make that contract. Okay, if I don't do what I said, I'll pay you. If I don't do what I said, then you get this from me, something that hurts. So that's how you start breaking your bad habits. You've got to get a system that says, if I do that bad habit, it's not fun, it hurts, it's not rewarding, and it's hard to do, and it's difficult. A good habit, satisfying, fun, easy, I get rewarded. It's like a kid. You reinforce the good habits and you reward them, and then they'll go for that. Okay, so that's the summary of your good and bad habits. So exercise 7 has a fair bit of homework for you to do, because you need to analyze a lot of your habits and rewrite who you are and your identity. So the first thing you're going to do is write down, what type of person do you want to be? How are you going to view yourself? And write your new identity. Give yourself a new identity. You're going to be a person that chooses healthy options. You're a person that takes care of themselves. You're a person that cares about themselves. So you're going to create the new identity, because your old identity needs to be upgraded. So that will be your first step. The next one, and I've included James Clear's free PDFs, free information in this module, so you can take a look at it. And there's a template called the Habits Scorecard, and that's where you analyze all of your habits, and you will write them down, and you'll either give them a positive, negative, or neutral rating. So you can look at what these daily habits are, like brushing your teeth. Well, that's a positive habit. You give that a plus. You might read the newspaper. Well, that might be negative. That might not be something that's really constructive to read the newspaper. So you're going to start looking at all the habits that you do, or plus all the foods you eat. Of course, there are going to be, some negative habits there. But you're going to write down each daily habit that you do and give it one of the 3 ratings. So you can look at your overall daily habits that you do. And we got to get you in the positive. So fill that one out. Then there is a handout on the summary of what a habit, how to create a good habit and how to break a bad habit. So you can check that one out. Then we've got the template implementation and intention. So that is where, when you start saying, and you make it nice and clear, when I talked about you talking to a friend, you'll say, well, at 4 o'clock, because that's what I do. At 4 o'clock, I'm out of here, or sometimes it's 4:30, I'm out of here down the park. But I go, I will run at 4 o'clock in Doncaster, down at the park. I will go for my daily run. So that is in my mind. I go, 4 o'clock, check you later, I'm out of here. And that's why I don't make any appointments at that time. I make sure that they're either before or after that time. I don't have anyone interfere with my run time. So that's called an implementation intention. You already state, this is what I'm doing at this time. You've made that statement. Or when you go to bed. Now, habit stacking. So there's a template called habit stacking, and that's teaching you how to add habits. So you can say, after I speak to my girlfriend at 3 o'clock, I am going for a walk at 3:15. Yeah, that's it. After I speak to my girlfriend at 3 o'clock, I will go for a walk at 3:15. So you're going to habit stack. That is my habit. So that's why when you look at what your daily habits are, you're going to go, you know what, I can add that habit on the end of that one that I consistently do. Is it when you get out of bed? I mean, you've got to work out when you have the most time. I prefer, I'm more of an afternoon person. So first thing in the morning for me, exercise isn't that great. I prefer to use it to prepare my mind and do my meditations. I find, you got to adjust all your habits to your lifestyle so that you keep to them. So to finalize everything we've talked about, I've made it easy for you. I've created a PDF that's called My Daily Life Journal. And I've created an opening for the day. Now you can change it, you can do whatever you want, but these words are really beautiful. It says, I open and bless this day as I call upon enlightened beings and guardians, all universal powers and connection to the organic light source energy. I express my gratitude for the amazing opportunities that come my way, the magic that exists in creating the day I desire, all humanity and all my blessings that are never ending and overflowing. I spend today wisely and offer love to all that come my way, growth and expansion to be the best version of myself, connection and oneness with the universe and everyone. I now gratefully begin this brand new day in flow and ease. So that's my beginning of opening the day, and that is my habit. I will say that as soon as I get out of bed. I say, what a great day. If I stay in bed for a few minutes, I'm just saying I'm grateful for this warm bed. I'm just doing all my gratitudes. But when I get out, before I go do anything, I say that, because that is now my habit. And then on it, I've got meditation time, number 2. So I like to meditate, so I do a tick. So this is a Word doc, so you can adjust it to what you want for your day. And then I write 3, today I'm grateful for. So I sit down and I fill it out, everything that I'm grateful for. And then I've got number 4, my positive habits for today are. So you're going to write down your positive habits. So I could go for a run, and then it's got after current habit, after I speak to my friend at 3, and then the action and time and location. So the action will be run at 3:15 down at the park, and then my reward for it, or do I just get a tick? So this page will be your daily page of you keep writing in the habits the positive habits you're going to implement, and then what you'll do with that sheet where you've got your bad habits, you're going to devise a plan that you make it really hard so you don't fall into your old habits. You're going to need to do that your way. And then I write number 5, I will rise above. So whatever I fall short in, I'm going to rise above my, maybe lack of. So I always go negativity. So I'm going to go, I want to rise above the negativity. I don't want to engage in it. So that's kind of my thing that I have, and frustrations, and not to be frustrated. Then you've got a to-do list. So there's a to-do list. What are you going to do today? I write down the things that I'm going to do for that day that says me, and then I handball stuff to the universe. So I say to the universe, okay, I want you to take care of all the flow. I want you to take care of my marketing, and then I want you to take care of, I'll just give everything that I don't have time to do or busy. Yeah, I'll just go, universe, that's your job for today. Amazing idea to do that. So then number 7 is your daily health plans. So you can write down, your breakfast options. So you might go if you do eggs, or if you don't have breakfast, don't worry about it. So you're going to do, the health plan is the morning, lunch and afternoon. So you write down some options of what you can eat, your snack options, and then your options to exercise. So I don't generally, because depending on your routine, if you've got a routine, you don't have a routine and every day is different, then you may not exercise in the morning, you might exercise in the afternoon, but some days you'll do morning. So you can write down, when you're going to exercise for the day, in which, area of time, the morning, lunchtime or afternoon. So, and you can write down a couple of options. So, okay, my 2 options today are going to be, well, if I don't do my yoga in the morning, in the afternoon I'll do my run. My snacks that I'm going to say I'll take is I'm going to have an apple, or I'll do a carrot stick or whatever. These are my options for snacks. And so you write them down. And your breakfast and your dinner, your breakfast, lunch and dinner options. So you go, well, okay, these are my options. Or you can just write down one option, but that's there for you to pick. Then every week you're going to do your weekly weigh-in. So every Sunday night you do your weight, and then your new weight. So the week later you're going to put your new weight in and put your weight loss total. Okay. So you only need that on the Sundays, your weekly weigh-in each Sunday, and then there's a closing the day. So at night before I go to bed, I will always say this: I close this day by cleansing and purifying it with pure white organic light and dissolve any negative energy or attachments for myself, this room, this building, anyone or anything from today. I ask the guardians and angels to protect and bless this night, that I may sleep restfully and release any negative thought forms from my mind, body and soul. I end this day in an abundance of eternal gratitude to all that is. I am thankful. Okay, so there is a daily form that you can adjust. It's in Word, and work out how you want to run your day. But if you're not going to plan your day and you will fall off in a ditch, because other things overtake it, and other things can become a priority. So now you're going to take charge of your life, take charge of your eating, take charge of your future, and take it step by step, and just be okay with it, and you'll feel so satisfied, and you'll look forward to the day, and you'll have something to keep that, you can keep this, and create a journal and keep the pages and put them all together and then look back on it. So it's a really, positive way to go forward. So that will be how you plan each day, and of course edit it how you want. Okay, so have fun with this one. I know it's a little longer and it's got a little bit more study into it, so read through the PDF, read through the attachments, print off your daily life journal, and I'll see you soon.